Hi, everybody, and welcome to I Like Cruise Ships, the YouTube channel, and I guess the Facebook page and website. And welcome to a new live stream, and welcome to Saturday. It's still Saturday where I am in the world. I'm sure where you are as well with the time difference. Yeah, it's Sunday, I guess, in Australia. So yeah, I thought I'd come and do my favorite unscheduled live stream. It seems to be the thing to do as I keep doing it. I'm sure, as usual, maybe only a few people will join. Let's hope, some people come into the live stream and it's kind of interesting. Let's see how it goes. So we might get a few people here, we might not. Today, I thought especially if there's not too many people in the chat, I thought I'd just go over some Facebook posts that I kind of see in some of the groups that I'm a part of and answer some questions here and there that I see come up regularly and frequently and all the time. So, yeah, let's just chat away for now. Maybe a few people will come and join in. Maybe thousands of people will be in the live chat. Maybe 3 or 4 people. So, yeah. If you're not aware, my name is Russell. I do work on cruise ships. I'm currently on vacation at the moment. I am planning to go back next month, all being well. This month now, I guess we're in March. So the plan, I'm kind of a little bit held up at the moment. I'm in the process of just getting my visa arranged to go back. So I'm kind of waiting for that to come through. It's taking its time. I know it's kind of an old story if you've watched some of the previous streams that I do and, chats and things like that. So, yeah, I hope everyone's having a good, I guess now weekend already, been Saturday, or a good week already gone past. Crazy things happening in the world, of course. If you might be from Australia or you might be from, let's say, the UK, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, a couple of Australian cricketers passed away in the last few days. And if you're not sure what cricket is, it's a sport that a few countries in the world play. And a couple of legend Australian cricketers, unfortunately, passed away within a day of each other, which is just crazy. I was on the bus on the way home yesterday, and I kind of tend to be, when I'm on the bus going to and from the city, I tend to just go on to news and read the news stories of the day. There's a lot of different websites you can watch the news from, and I kind of thought that I'd just log in as usual, and there's that kind of crazy news story that you just, hey, when you read one and you're just shocked at what the news is, and you just don't expect to see that kind of news story, I guess, and there it is in front of you. Yeah, I hope we do get some people into the live stream. I hope the video and the volume's coming across okay. If anybody is here, you're more than welcome to chat something in the comments. Give it a thumbs up. I'm not sure which ones you want to do. Yeah, I'm here. It's live. Now, I did put a poll on the community page of the stream, and I did ask about whether or not I should talk about my current circumstances and where I am in the world and what's going on. And I might just see if I can pull that up. Now, I did actually have kind of Facebook here ready to go, if that makes sense. But I might just go over to YouTube and just sort of show what the results were of this poll. Oh, where are we? Is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah, it's down here. So just down here is where I put the poll, if you like, or this is where it comes up on the studio, which is kind of the back of house for YouTube. And I put a question. I think a lot of viewers on this channel know that I live in Moscow, Russia. Would you be interested in a video or a live stream about life here right now? Now, I got 3 comments, I got 8 likes, and I got 94 votes. Now, I'd love to get to 100 votes, so it'd be exact easy percentage to figure out. But 70% said yes. They'd like to know what's kind of happening and going on and things like that. So roughly, if we call it 100 votes, we're kind of sitting at about 70 people. I guess 70% of the vote would be about maybe 65, 60 people or so. And no was 29, so we'll call that about 20 people. And then 1% said other. So can't read your screen, it's blurry. Possibly you need to go to the little cog in the corner if you're on your phone and change the setting. I'm not sure what it's called. There's a setting. No, let me just go to a video on YouTube. So if you kind of pull up a video here, we don't really want to watch one, but we'll kind of have to. Just go to this one. This is about golf. And then there's a cog, which is settings. Is it cog? Oh, there's the ad playing right at the beginning. So let's skip over the ad. First, right there. And there's a cog that says quality, subtitles, playback speed, and annotations. And on the quality, if you can see, I don't know if you can see that or not. That's probably blurry as well. You can go to auto and you can change the resolution or the playback quality. My stream condition says excellent. So that's kind of good. So it's kind of working from my end. I'm sorry, Renee. If you're saying hi as well. And yeah, so there's basically that cog. I actually get it quite often as well when I'm watching a video that it goes to, it's basically defaulted at auto. So sometimes it goes to a lower quality and then you just need to bump it up to 720. That's what I do. I don't ever put it on 1080p. There's no need to. I put it on 720p. So if you're on your desktop, I guess you can do it from there. On mobile, I'm not sure. I'm just going to look at my phone so I can see where the little cog is, if that makes sense. The cog. Oh, I've got a cat video as my little one that's going to come up first. Where are we? Yeah, there's a cog in the top right-hand corner that you can press, and then it's got quality, captions, loop video, report, help, and feedback. So you just do quality, and actually mine's got auto, recommended, high picture quality, data saver, and advanced. If that makes any sense and it's helpful, you could switch it over yourself, I guess. Does that make sense? Just sort of click away from this, and I'll just go to the Facebook page that I had open right here. Pebble Cruising, how are we going? Hey, that would be great to find out what is going on there. You are on where you are and what the situation is like at this moment. Yeah, so again, I'll just sort of repeat back for anybody that's new or hasn't watched the channel before or isn't a subscriber. I'm currently here in Moscow, Russia. I've lived here now basically for about the last 5 months. My wife and I moved back here last year, I guess now. We're in March now, right? It's crazy. We were living in Australia for pretty much most of the pandemic. I guess you could call it that. I came home from cruise ships in March. Wow, March 2 years ago. And then we've decided to come over here to live in Moscow for the time being. My wife had some health issues. She's sort of sorting that all out now. She's found a nice job. Actually, she works in her own salon that she has in our apartment downstairs from where we live. So it's really nice and easy to go to and from work from her. She used to work in Moscow center, right in the center of the city. And she works right where we live in our own town here. So yeah, now actually I'll just talking about it, Bebel, for a second. I guess we kind of need a few more people to kind of give me a good consensus if it would be a good idea. I don't want to kind of, the one thing with what's happening, let's call it, is there's a lot of people who are getting, I guess there's three sides of the story, right? There's kind of one country's story, the other country's story, and then there's what the media is sort of showing, which is it's kind of like a third story, if that makes sense. Oh, it's just my tablet's blurry, smartphone is fine, thanks. Oh, no worries. Yeah, just have a look for that cog, and then you might find, or even on when you're watching other videos here and there, that you might need to just change it to 720, depending on your internet speed. That's pretty much the one I always use. So yeah, so actually yesterday, so one thing that's super important is the government signed a decree, or Mr. P, I'll call him Mr. P, okay? He signed a decree yesterday, which basically is I guess a law that stops people spreading not the real news, FAKE, news. So, and if you do, there's a potential of being arrested, being jailed, heavily fined and so forth, but basically jailed. So a lot of the mainstream news outlets here in Moscow are basically being very, very, very cautious about what they're talking about and what wording they're using. There is a couple of specific words that can't be used. If anyone wants to type out things understanding what I'm talking about, I'm obviously trying to be very cautious about how I say things, because you just don't know who's watching, you know what I mean? Big Brother, I guess you could call it. And we're not allowed to say certain words, which is kind of the words about what's happening. My gosh, I'm trying to go around this. I'm not, obviously this channel is about cruise ships. I did really want to kind of, not leverage, was wanting to basically pivot the channel to more about traveling and me vlogging my traveling and me working on cruise ships. But it seems to be pretty much anytime I'm putting videos on here that are not anything to do with cruise ships, it tends to be, I'll just put this one up so it's a little bit bigger for me. It tends to be not very successful viewing wise, and I guess monetization wise. So where videos get monetized from ads that Google and YouTube put on videos, they don't seem to be very successful and get very little views. I've got actually a few playlists about my travels in Bali and here in Russia, pretty much old videos now. I did a couple of videos when I first arrived, then I realized that they were all kind of going to bomb and do terrible. Actually, I've got quite a few loaded already in here that are basically unlisted that I didn't put on the channel because I just knew they weren't going to get views, and I needed to figure out what to do on the channel here. So by doing live streams like this, by doing also the cruise news videos, and then some Q&A videos. If you've watched videos in the last 5 or 6 months, I kind of like doing the Q&A videos. I kind of stopped doing them because I don't know why. I just didn't kind of find questions that kind of worked. And then a lot of them, although they seem simple to answer, you know, by looking up Facebook groups and so forth, like we're going to look at here on the right, or this is the one I've just sort of pulled up. This is actually the one that's tied with I Like Cruise Ships. We've only got 10,400 members, which is not a whole lot, you know, compared to some of the bigger pages, I guess. And, there's some of the groups have got thousands of people and some really cool questions. And then obviously in the last sort of 6 months to a year, while the ships were kind of locked down, the questions got very, I guess, more difficult to answer, particularly about when will cruise ships restart, what are going to be the protocols, what are the mask rules, when are the cruise lines going to get rid of the mask rules, about testing before cruising. And obviously they aren't kind of questions that are easy to answer in the short term. They are in the short term, but in terms of leaving them on the channel, people watching them a year later, they're kind of a little bit useless, if that makes sense. Whereas some of the videos I did make about bringing, can you get straws on a cruise ship? Should I take my towel to the beach? Should I take my passport off the ship with me? They're kind of questions that always get asked and a straightforward answered questions. So yeah, I don't really want to do like a video on this channel about life here or live streaming and things like that from in Moscow Center, because I just know that I'm going to get a lot of backlash, and I'm not, I guess, sensitive to kind of keyboard warriors who kind of post things, and I take it with a grain of salt anytime that I do. You know, I mean, I'm here. You know what I mean? That makes sense. Bebel says, well, if you have to be careful about what you say about the current situation, I just hope that this current situation doesn't affect your status to work on cruise ships. Yeah, right. So that's actually the one question that I've got from a lot of friends and family, which is kind of important, I guess. I do have an Australian passport, by the way, obviously. I do also have a British passport, so I'm pretty free to travel anywhere in the world, in and out of countries, if that makes sense. My Australian passport currently has my US work visa in it, which is the C1D visa, which is the one crew members need to be able to get into America and join the ships to work. I've also got the B1, B2 visa, which is the one that's for if you want to go to the US to travel and just a holiday. When you get the C1D visa, the guy asks you, do you want the other one at the same time? And he puts both in there. So I've got them both. They're actually valid effectively, I guess, 5 months ago, because I literally got them done within a few weeks of leaving to come over here to Moscow. So I don't need to get that visa, which is very lucky, because the US embassy here effectively is closed to anybody who wants to do visa applications. And the nearest one, you'd have to go to Poland to go get to the embassy there to do things. And obviously, with everything going on now, it would be even more difficult to go there. Yeah, so actually yesterday, if you want to know what I did yesterday, I went to the local, well, not my local shopping center. I went to one about an hour away from where I live, which actually has an Ikea. Now, I don't know if anybody's sort of been watching the news, and they're talking about every company in the world pulling out of Russia or dealing goods to Russia. And one of the ones that's going to hit Russia the hardest is the closing of Ikea stores. Now, going back, so yesterday is the 4th. The 3rd is when the 3rd evening or 3rd night, 3rd of March, they closed the doors, I guess, effectively, well, for the short term, for good, if you want to call it that. Literally. And they literally just stopped people coming in the doors, and then lock the doors, and then anyone in had to go through the shop to get out, and no more in and out. And if you remember back, I guess in the US, in Australia, it happened as well. People were panic buying in the supermarkets. Do you guys remember that, when people were going nuts, buying toilet paper and, I don't know, pasta and rice and things like that, and flour? That was exactly what happened, but in Ikea. I'm not sure if we can show, well, I can show this, if I can get it to play. And let's just see, because it's kind of interesting. I think it is anyway. This is actually my local town where I live. This is actually the Facebook group that I'm part of. I'll just scroll down here. And this may not be interesting for everybody. There's a funny skit here about Trump, and I don't know who this other guy is. I think it's the it's not the president, I don't think, but it's a Russian comedy skit about, this is actually not a current one, it's from a year or so back, or 2 years back, talking about Russia and America's kind of friendship, I guess you'd call it. By the way, in Russia, Facebook and Twitter are closed down. So I'm actually going through a French VPN, which is a private network where you can access other countries' internet. So yeah, that's what this is right here in Russian. Facebook is closed here. So there is a possibility that they're saying YouTube might be closed. I hope not. Yeah, there's actually this massively long post. This is in Russian, but talking about all the companies that have stopped dealing with Russia. And I don't know where. I think is it on this one. I hope it's this one. No, it's this one. So let's see if this one plays. I don't think we get any sound. I'll just put that down if it's working. This was actually the. Oh, that was it. Wow. That was a fast video, wasn't it? Guess we'll have to play it again. 9 seconds. This was actually the at the checkouts. When you come through in Ikea, and somebody took a video of it. And unfortunately, in this group, there's a ton of posts about just general life here and things like that. And then people in the comments are then putting kind of really, bad stuff unnecessarily into our local cruise group. Into our local Facebook group. Because obviously there's a ton of Ukrainians that live in Russia. And there is Russians that live in Ukraine. So there is a kind of a mix of people. And at the end of the day, the average person doesn't know who's who and who's the next person from the next person. Does that make sense? So, especially when I'm talking to my wife, she's like, always talk soft, whisper when you're talking to me, especially in English, right? And people turn their head when they see me talking English, and my wife replying back to me, because when we're talking about what's going on, maybe they know English and maybe they're a bit sensitive to what's going on, right? So, it doesn't bother me that I talk about it, because it kind of helps, especially with my wife at the moment, just going through what's happening and the scenarios, and I just thought I'd tell you something quite funny as well. I think it's funny. So if anybody's in the US watching this, now I think your content, I think they haven't accepted it yet. So this is a guy from England who does news stories for ABC News in America. And I've briefly forgotten his name completely. But he made a news report about roughly 2 days ago. And he came to our town. This is actually the local church. And then there's a memorial here. Pretty much every town in Moscow or in Moscow region, and any town you go to anywhere across Russia pretty much has a church somewhere. And it'll have some kind of memorial to fallen heroes or fallen compatriots, if you like. And he came to our town. I don't know why. We don't know why. My wife doesn't know why. She's in shock. This guy came and did a piece talking about, getting out of Moscow and going to basically there's Moscow Center, which is, I guess, Red Square in different places. And then there's Moscow Oblast, which is called Moscow Region. So, and it's basically the towns outside of the center of Moscow. And he did a piece talking about, what's the average Russian who doesn't live in the center of Moscow think about what's going on? And, what's the feeling like amongst locals here, and his thing was only actually a minute 37 is the video that I got. But I would imagine it's part of another news story, maybe on ABC News in America, where he says that he actually went to town and talked to people at the local market. I'm sure he may have done. But, and then funny enough, somebody local filmed him then getting stopped by the local police. This is actually the train station here right behind him. And then this is the local one supermarket right here, Magnit. And I'm pretty sure that must be his car, because in the other video, behind him, you can see the same model. And I imagine he got pulled over and they're checking his passport and his documents. A demand for papers, just making a general, this is basically talking about the police making a general nuisance of themselves, but it happens to us daily here now. So I know it's kind of funny from my point of view. Maybe somebody doesn't think it's as funny, but we're kind of curious why he chose a Prelivka to come to, and I put a post here. This is actually my post. They haven't approved it yet. Whoever's the admin of the page, I put it in Russian, just talking about ABC News. So yeah, yesterday I went to this shopping center to check out the Ikea. I am going to make a video and put it on the Traveling with Russell channel. So if anybody's not a part of that, might just bring that up. Fun, for fun. Yeah, I have a second channel here, which is called Traveling with Russell. So I'll just go to your channel. And I'll skip that first little thing there. Yeah, this is the channel that I made. 359 subscribers. A long way from the 9,000 on this channel, of course. And I haven't posted now in 2 months. I've just lost inspiration to make videos, but I am going to post one now about going to the Ikea yesterday while it was closed and just walking around the shopping center where it was. So if anyone wants to subscribe to this channel, I got a little bit lucky with a video a few months ago. So all my videos have about, a few hundred views, 100, 200, 300, 500. And this one I made about the electric buses has had 29,000 views. Yeah, and then this one's had 4,000. There's an electric robot here that does mail collection. Like it goes up and down the street, and I've seen it twice, and it was pretty cool, and it had 4,000 views. I didn't even mean it to be kind of popular. So yeah, there's 6 people watching, by the way. Actually, it did get up to 8, and now it's down to 6. This is about as many as we get. So yeah, if you want to subscribe to this channel, if you're not, you're very welcome to. Traveling with Russell. I do have a very good friend here in Moscow. His name's Dimmer. I don't know if he might be watching. We are going to plan to put some more videos on this channel. YouTube has announced that Russian YouTube effectively will close down, which is content created by Russian YouTubers, and the ads won't be monetized. Now, he has a YouTube channel that he has, and there's a possibility, it actually is going to happen, that his source of income from YouTube is going to disappear because his channel is registered and set up in Russia. So the plan is that we're going to make some videos here in Moscow, like Traveling with Russell videos, and me in them, of course, and hopefully Dimmer. And we're going to post them on here. And if it reaches the 1,000 subscribers, we're going to then, he's going to take the money from it. So it's kind of a good way to give back, I guess. He does walking videos in Russia, in Moscow, particularly in Moscow, and he does like, it's called faceless videos, where you just have to walk with the camera and point out things. And I'm kind of, obviously the videos I make, I'm always in them. So I kind of think I've done a bit of a good job with this channel, but it just needs more content adding. And then now, of course, it's kind of tough knowing what to make in the circumstances, right? I mean, I can't be going to a theme park and everybody cheering and happy, and people are watching something somewhere else, and there's an opposite feeling, right? So we're trying to come up with a plan about what videos to make. I was going to meet him today. We were going to meet up tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing. We kind of meet up in the Moscow center and we go walking. We like to just walk around the center because it's really nice and amazing place to walk. So this shopping center yesterday I went to, where the Ikea was closed. The video will come up on this this channel. Hopefully tonight, if I can get it finished after this, depending on how late it ends up being. Yeah, I love the electric bus video. I think a lot of people could relate to that in the US. Yeah, there is channels, just talking about that, there is channels that are obviously niched down. And I'm pretty sure that from about 100 subscribers to 359 there, it's got up here now, that, oops, over here, that they're all watching because of that video. And I'm a bit scared, and I talked to Dimmer, his name is Dimmer, Dimmer, about it, that I'm a bit scared that if I post videos that are not about electric buses or buses, maybe people won't watch. But I think just traveling videos and just general, interesting things videos, I think they kind of work. I think they do. So, I'll kind of keep doing them and just see how it goes. Mike says, hello, Russell, from Austin, Texas. I'll be on the Dream in 3 weeks. Oh, counting down. Yeah, I have 2 different friends. Actually, if you watched a couple of weeks ago, Neil Russo was a special guest on this channel, and he is on the Mardi Gras today. And also, so Neil Russo, and also Gary Hurd, who's a friend that I met a guest that I met on the cruises, and he is on the same ship on the same time. I wonder if they actually know each other. I'm not too sure. So yeah, I guess 3 weeks. I guess that's feeling like forever, right? 3 weeks from now, counting down like, when I go home from cruise ships, or even when I sign on and go back, I don't tend to get as excited as other crew members. Some crew members count down for months before they're going home, and then the last cruise, they're not even counting as work on the last cruise before you go home. And I'm kind of the person that's very subdued about it, and not trying to get excited about thinking about it in your head, playing through that moment when you walk your luggage down the gangway, when you get on the bus, when you go to the airport, when you fly home, or even going back, you know what I mean? Like, driving to the airport, checking in and things like that. So I always try to underplay it as much as possible. I mean, I love to travel. I love to go on the ships. I love to go on the airports. I love to go anywhere new that I've not seen before. Here, even Moscow too. I like to go to somewhere, and walking around with Dimmer in Moscow is the same thing, right? We go to all these different streets that I've never seen before and find somewhere interesting. And even he hasn't recognized some things. I've shown him a few things as well that he's not seen before. And we're planning to kind of put videos on this channel, so in the hope that we get over this 1,000 subscriber mark, and then we can help him out somehow. Because basically the fact that his channel's registered in Russia and the US dollar payment goes to his Russian bank account, and with this SWIFT system, or this bank payment system, getting closed down, it's near impossible to get money out in dollars or in euros or whatever money's put into your account. Just to display a bit of a myth, I mean, they are talking about huge lines at the ATMs here in Russia. There isn't huge lines, I can assure you. Anywhere that he and I walked in Moscow center yesterday when I was at the shopping center, and actually at 2 different shopping centers. I went home yesterday, and I go through another shopping center to get home at the bus exchange or bus station, and there isn't lines. The one thing that's a little bit misunderstood is the currencies. You can set up bank accounts here in Russia, which, not everybody does, but a few people do, where you can have a US currency as your account, or you can have it in euros or pounds. And then a few ATM machines allow you to withdraw US currency or withdraw euros from those accounts. And this is kind of where the problem is, where people have got those foreign currency accounts. These are the ones that are kind of getting locked and unable to be used. And then also, when you go to certain shops or businesses, your ATM card doesn't work for payment because if you've kind of heard on the TV all of the sanctions, especially with the banking side of it, the sanctions for the banking side, certain banks have got more restrictions than others, and some effectively have not got any restrictions or sanctions, if you like. So, I mean, so far since I guess it's over a week now, right, since everything started up. Yesterday, actually, when I was at the shopping center at the supermarket, it didn't work, which I was very surprised about. My 2 different bank accounts, Australian bank accounts, didn't work. And where else? One other small mini mart, it hasn't worked. And that's pretty much it. Everywhere I've gone, I've used my card, tap and go, basically, this ATM tap and go, or where you put the card in and then put the PIN number. It's worked everywhere. We took out money from the bank a few days ago to pay our rent, because we kind of set it up that way that we pay the guy cash. I'll give you another funny story. Yesterday, before I went to the shopping center. So in the morning, my wife sort of called and she went to work. She called me and said, "Oh, Russell, the guy is going to come to pick up the money for rent. Have the money ready." And I'm like, "Okay, it's already ready." You know what I mean? He just normally calls and comes up to our apartment door. I give him the cash. I don't know why. He doesn't want us to put it in his bank for him. He likes to come and pick it up. And then it got to about 10 or 11 o'clock, and I called my wife. He's not been yet. Well, what? He's not here? So she calls him, and she said, "Oh, he's coming now in 10 minutes. I said, "Oh, look, I'm going to go out to Moscow. I want to go to the shopping center. I'll bring the money down to your nail salon where she works." So, and then she calls me, "Oh, he's here now." Literally, this is a few minutes later. So I quickly got ready. I was already ready to go out. And then he's standing outside the salon with my wife. They're just chatting. And then my wife says to me in English, "He's very drunk." Try not to talk to him too much. And this is like 11 or 12 o'clock, like before lunch. And he's like drunk, like really like slurring his words. And then he doesn't know any English, so he didn't understood when we talked about that he's drunk. So I gave him the money. I gave it to my wife, and she gave it to him. And she said to me, "Oh, I hope he doesn't forget that we've paid him the rent because he's so drunk." And then my wife told me later that he was drinking from the night before. I guess they had maybe a party or something or get together, and he was still drinking in the morning. Just Russian way, You can go to any convenience store here. You can go to any supermarket, mini mart. You can buy alcohol very easily here, It's just funny. And then I thought he'd driven to the salon from where he lives, and he actually caught the train. He didn't even come in the car, right? So he's like, "Oh, come with me. We'll go on the train together." And I'm like, "I don't want to go with you." And he's like making me walk with him towards the train station. And then I'm like, "I've got to go on the bus to go to this other place. Not on the train with you." And I kind of shook hands and off he went. But it's kind of funny at the time what happens. So yeah, traveling with Russell. So if you want to follow it, you're very welcome to. So yeah, so let's so at the moment, I mean, interestingly, yesterday when I was there at the shopping center talking about life in Russia, for me and my wife, I'm going to say, since the whole week of this all happening, nothing has affected us or made a difference to our lives. I mean, the only, I'm going to say, slight difference is the prices of things have gone up, like really gone up in price in the stores because the ruble has gone down so much. The cost of goods to buy has gone up a lot. So things like, luxury items, I'm going to say like electronics, anything in the, I went to an electronics store. When I was walking with Dimmer a few days ago, we went into the Sony store to look at cameras, right? We want to look at cameras. And the guy said that they put the prices up between 10 and 30% overnight, literally changed all the tickets on everything, 30% higher. And then my wife said that a friend of a client of hers works in a store and they put up the prices 40%. So, which is just crazy to think that. I mean, the price have gone up. When I went to the supermarket yesterday, and then when I was with my wife a few days ago, we were looking at the price of coffee, and the coffee's gone up from, it was 399 rubles, let's call it 400, to 640 rubles. So 240 rubles more, which is, in terms of the ruble, like being over 100 to $1, it doesn't seem like a big increase. But for a person that's earning the same salary, their salary hasn't gone up 30% or 20% in the last 2 days. So the cost for what you're buying has gone up, but your salary hasn't gone up with it. I think that's everywhere in the world, right? But with the ruble basically dropping so much, like so quickly, that everyone's had to react to the pricing. Daryl, how are we going? How's things? Good for you to join the live stream. I know we're a little bit into it now. Guess you could watch on replay if you're watching for the first time, I guess. Yeah, we're just talking about my life here in Russia. So in the short term, in the last week or so, zero difference. I mean, honestly and truly, in the center of Moscow, at the shopping center yesterday, at the local town where we live, it is literally business as usual, if you want to call it that. So yeah, the only thing which I wanted to see yesterday was that the Ikea closed, and it had. And there's one clothing store in the whole mall that was closed. It was called Mango, which is I imagine some sort of European brand. I'm not sure. But where they're saying, I mean, all these car manufacturers are pulled out, all these airline companies are pulled out, Coca-Cola is pulled out. What's important to remember is most of these companies aren't directly sending products manufactured outside of Russia to Russia. So like with Coca-Cola, they said, we're not going to be selling Coca-Cola in Russia, sending Coca-Cola to Russia anymore. They produce it here locally and sell it locally. It's not getting imported. So Coca-Cola will still be on the shelves. Pepsi will still be on the shelves. We were just looking at a few different products that we've got in the cupboard here, like grocery food items. And I mean, if you go to most supermarkets here in Moscow, 99% of products are made in Russia or Russian companies. There is only a very tiny percentage of non-Russian made products. I'll just leave you hello up there for a second, block me out for a second, doesn't matter. So that's, it's not going to affect in the short term. I mean, 1 month or 2 months from now, will there be kind of food shortages? There won't be like in the 1980s Soviet Union. There won't be that, because there's still a supply chain coming from other countries. Remember, Russia still has allies with other countries, particularly China, right? So, so gotta have my cold cheeseburger or pizza. Cold quit? Like Coke, cold or cheeseburger, Coke. Yeah, so so the most of the shops, especially the supermarkets here, I mean, you're not going to see the shops empty in any way. I mean, every brand has basically got some sort of manufacturing here. They've said there that Apple will pull out of Russia. Now, Apple has never had stores in Russia from day one. They've never had Apple stores here. Pretty much, you can only buy Apple products through third-party resellers. Like if you go to a phone store or like Verizon in America, like a Verizon store where they sell phones, or you go to Walmart and buy an iPhone, that's only how you can buy iPhones in Russia, or online through online shopping or Amazon. So, at some point there'll be maybe a break in supply chain where you won't be able to get things, but they'll basically find other ways to bring things into the country, so that won't be an effect. I mean, the one thing that's probably going to be a minor problem initially is things like travel and tourism. And my wife called me in to watch on the TV in the lounge room, Mr. P. he was doing a press conference earlier on today, which is a very strange press conference because it was all women. Like it was like a round table, where they've just got different delegates from different companies, and it was only ladies that were at this round table. There was probably 20 people at this table that was sitting around when he was talking, and it was mostly people from the different airlines, and I'm guessing different travel kind of businesses. And he was talking about what they're going to do going forward, how they're going to work around everything, and how it's not going to affect the greater population, if that makes sense. So is McDonald's still open? Yes, it is. Yes. I wasn't there yesterday, but it was open the day before. Yeah, McDonald's, I would imagine, is probably under license here, ownership. So it's not owned by McDonald's, you know what I mean? So it's a Russian franchise, I guess you would call it that. Yeah, actually, I went when I was with Dimmer walking, how long was it? 4 days ago, 3 days ago? He doesn't like McDonald's, but he goes there for the coffee and the bathroom. And I read a funny post on Facebook a couple of days ago after he said that to me. And it's kind of pretty much the normal thing that people go to McDonald's for the toilet and buy cheap coffee, like takeaway coffee or whatever. Yeah, we went in there and had, I actually had a meal and he just had his coffee. And everyone's kind of looking at us always because we're in English, especially when they've got small, close together tables, and Dimmer talking in English and me, everyone's like looking at me. Like the one thing I get a lot is people think I'm American, just because I'm speaking English. Oh, Amerikansky. No, yet Australia, and when I say that, they're like different people altogether. So what is the drinking age in Russia? I think it's 18. Funny enough, I assume it's 18. Yeah, it is 18. Yes, I'm completely. Look at the Google searches for that. How much has gone up in the last week? I think anything with the word Russia in it's kind of been searched to the death in the last few days or week. Yeah, I don't know. One thing, actually, where we live downstairs from our apartment here, we do actually have a liquor store called Krasny Bile, which is it translates to red and white store. And I've go in there quite a lot. We get, you can actually get like snacks and Coca-Cola and chocolate in there and things like that, and chips and snacks for drinking beer. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone that's sort of younger in there. So I don't know if they do check IDs. I imagine they do, you know what I mean? I'm sure young people still have access to drinking. I think the fact that, Europe generally, you know what I mean, people do drink. So it's not kind of as much of a taboo here. You know what I mean? It's not the kind of famous thing that everybody drinks vodka. They don't. One thing I did see in the news in Australia is actually in England as well. I don't know in America if it's happening, but they're pulling Russian products from shop shelves. And the local liquor company, actually, I worked at one of the stores back in Australia doing a shop refit. And they said that they're pulling all the Russian-made products from the alcohol or liquor stores. And in the video, or the news story that it was made, was they were pulling a bottle of Stolichnaya or Stolichnia off the shelf. And Stolichnia or Stolichnaya is actually made in Latvia, not in Russia. So if they just read the back of the bottle, they'll find that not necessarily Russian vodkas are made in Russia. They're made under license somewhere else, kind of all together. So yeah, it's kind of just funny that, I mean, outside of Russia, people are thinking that, the shops are going to be empty, all the brands have closed, and it's not the case. I mean, my friend Dimmer there, we were talking about maybe making a video about the car industry or going to some car dealerships to have a look, because they're saying that all the car dealerships are going to be closed. There'll be no cars for sale. I mean, they're all still open and operating, really. This is the kind of the thing here, right? I mean, honestly, if I went into Moscow Center now or into the town where I live, the life is normal. I mean, there's obviously a little bit of protesting in one square in the center of Moscow. And that's pretty much the only noticeable thing you'll see in terms of everywhere that you go. Bebel says, okay, here is a cruise-related question. Did you happen to see the Wonder of the Seas sail away? I did actually watch on YouTube. Now, I am a big unsupporter, if you like, sometimes of watching other cruise YouTubers do videos, because I find some of them are not as genuine as I think they are. I didn't watch the sail away as in like on the live stream of the webcam. I watched one YouTuber that was on board up on deck as the ship was sailing away, or was in port, I think. I don't think they were actually sailing, and he was just walking around the deck, meeting and talking to people, and I just found it a little bit, I'm going to say the word fake, the way he was making the video, and he just didn't come across, all that. I am actually in a Facebook group for Wonder of the Seas. There's one called Social Group, is it called? There's 13,000 people, Wonder of the Seas Social Group. And they're starting to sort of now put a lot of photos and videos into this group. I'm pretty sure that obviously if you go to the certain cruise groups, here is Dimmer now. So this is Dimmer. Hey everybody, this is in Zen Studios 888. So if you are listening or watching and you want to say hello to Dimmer, we've just talked about you a little bit here and there. If anyone wants to say hi to him, please go ahead. That's pretty cool that he's joined us for the live stream. There's not too many of us here, of course. There's a ton of photos starting to kind of come online of the ship. Obviously, I've not worked on a Royal Caribbean ship, so I can't kind of get a feeling for how. I mean, it looks huge. I mean, massive. Looks massive, but I can't kind of get a bit of a feeling for how big it is. Looking at the photos, I mean, it looks big from the photos, right? That's a bit of a far off. Oh, that's so. Yeah, there is some pictures on the ship. I guess people took photos of the champagne here. Actually, this is someone that's actually posted. I did see this guy. I didn't watch his video, but he was in the background of another video, if that makes sense. So there we go. He's saying hi to himself. So even watching this guy in the background of the other video, I don't know what to make of it. Let's see, there's a few kind of videos that people have posted. There's they call it Windjammer, is the Lido deck on this ship, I guess. But yeah, the pool looks amazing. I mean, does it have enough room for 6,000 people at capacity? I mean, that's another story altogether. I mean, there is a lot of, you're going to get a lot of cruise fans who love a cruise line, right? So you're going to love Carnival, or you're going to love Royal, or you're going to love NCL. And how you kind of, bring that across to other people, you know what I mean? And your love and passion for that cruise line may not interpret with the next person, right? So, they're going to kind of go, oh, it was an amazing ship. I loved every second of it. It was amazing. And maybe it wasn't, right? I mean, some people don't like big ships, for instance. Some people don't like ships with a ton of, people on them. there is actually a little tour here. Let's sort of see if this comes across or not. Here's one of the cabins. Kind of got the bed there. The cabin tours that I've seen so far, cabins don't wow me. I think, you know what I mean? They've got a massive ship to build. So if you look at the bathroom here, you know, it's very basic. You know what I mean? That everything that you need, a shower, toilet, sink, and things like that. You know, I mean, this is obviously, I'm going to say this is probably a standard balcony room. You know, the cupboards right here, TV on the wall. These are actually hooks under the TV. They're not actually cupboards. They're hooks. There's the sofa and then the balcony. So yeah, I mean, look, the ship does look amazing. I'm just not probably wowed by the rooms. I mean, I know they've got a massive amount of different types of rooms on the ship. And this is kind of one of them. So yeah, that's one of the rooms on the cruise ship. Yeah, there's some kind of crazy rooms that they've got on there. Actually, this is a pretty neat. That's the back of the ship. That's actually a dry slide here called the Ultimate Abyss. Yeah, there's probably other people's photos, like piano steps right here. Oh, there you go, Zen. Bebel saying hi from California. I know when you do your live streams and videos, you've got lots of viewers from around the world. Judy says that looks like too much ship for me. I personally don't like all the hoopla. Yeah, that's kind of, and Daryl saying the same thing. Yeah, too big for me as well. I mean, my kind of small fear of big ships. Someone's showing how slow the internet is. You know, I mean, all memories of AOL dial-up speeds. Of their internet package on board is called Vroom. There's a lot of videos. I'm not kind of really want to show all the videos, but we'll see if there's any photos. That's what we want to see. Sugar Beach. That's handy. Sideways. Guess there's an arcade there somewhere. Kids shop. Wow, a separate shop for kids. The boardwalk. There's another great photographer. So I guess there's a lot of kind of walking tours. That makes sense. There's food. What's that, I wonder? Doesn't say. I guess that's maybe lobster bisque. Or there's some sort of fried chicken. And there we go. There's a bit of a sail away kind of view or video. Let's put the volume down in case it's coming across. I can't hear it here, so they've got a pretty cool thing on Royal where you can go up to the front bow right here, and that's pretty neat. And they've got a helicopter pad there as well. A few sail away. There's lots of videos. I really wanted to see photos. It's all videos. This is the back here of that actor that they were sort of showing, and then that middle section's all open. Yeah, 6,988 total people on board, which is kind of crazy. Oh, check that out where you can see them at the back here. I wonder if that's guests. I imagine it is because the steps look like they go down to guest areas. And I think there's someone right there on that back area right there. There's some people sort of waving away. Oh, thank you, Daryl, for some coffee at McDonald's. Zen, I don't know if you're still watching, but Daryl's given us $4.99 super sticker for some coffee at McDonald's. I don't know, Zen. I asked you. I think you said that the coffee hasn't changed price, right? When you were there, I know that the price of the Big Mac meal and the cheeseburger has gone up a little bit. Yeah, yes. Yeah, so we have some 490. Oh, that's actually quite a lot of money, Daryl. If I convert that now, let me just go over here. It's not 4.99 because there's a bit of a thing that YouTube USD to rubles gonna tell us. Yeah, so it's 527 rubles. So yeah, we've got 527. Actually, that's enough for. Actually, when I was there with Zen the other day, the Big Mac meal. Oh, how much was it now? 206. The Big Mac meal was 206 rubles. 206, which is $1.95 for a medium Big Mac meal. So 500. 527 is enough for coffee. I guess Big Mac meal, cheeseburgers, 10 small coffees. Yeah, 50. Wasn't it about 50 rubles for a coffee, I think? How much is the coffee, Zen? I can't remember. I don't buy the coffee, so yeah, thanks. Yeah, close to 7,000 people, and that's not including the crew, right? Yeah, 2,000 more crew. I mean, I guess the 2,000 crew are spread over the entire ship. One thing that's important if you're talking about crew on board a ship, if I look at Carnival Horizon, okay, to Big Mac meal and 2 cups of coffee. Yeah, we have enough for 2 big. That honestly, it's kind of crazy. I'll just talk about this for a second. I'll go back to the wonder of the seas. The only person that's sort of smiling and happy, like I was telling my wife about this, is me, because my bank account's in Australian dollars, and then of the payment then from I've got an apartment back in Australia that the rent's paid, and then the mortgage comes out of that and things like that. It's basically the apartment I have is mortgaged. I don't own it, so and then the payment from YouTube comes into my Australian account, and then I use my ATM card here. But now that the dollar's gone crazy, so this is the US one, it's topped out at 111, and then it was 70 or so rubles 3 weeks ago. So for the average Russian like Zen, it's gone horrible. But for me, Americana small. Yeah. I'm kind of laughing all the way to the bank. And I said to my wife, I said, yeah, no, I can't get back to work quick enough to earn more money or make better YouTube videos to get more money. That we have more money to spend here, and the plan is to basically hopefully buy an apartment here in Moscow, and whether we live here forever or go back to Australia, we don't know. So we're going to have to kind of sit down and think about that, very soon, what we're going to do. Yeah, what we have here, sorry. Standard cabins, they are a dime a dozen. But when I look for cabin tours, I like the accessible cabins because I use them. And also it's nice to find out about the suites and spa suites and the grand suites. Yeah, they've got that crazy. I don't think, I'll just go back here for a second. I don't know if we can find it or not. I don't think there's actually a tour of it. These are just people's general uploads, right? So, and this is just one group. So here's another one, 28 seconds. I don't know how much. Have a look at the space here. 10,270, 734. This is like 2 bedrooms cabin. This guy's on his sofa here in the room. And we've got like table. I guess it's going to be looped around this one. So yeah, there's kind of a bedroom over here on the left. And then there's a second bedroom over here. And I guess this is a bathroom here as they're kind of walking in. Sorry, I'll just skip right past that too quickly. I'm sorry. Grand suite. It's a little smaller than we expected, but not awful. Oh my gosh. Is that loud, by the way? Can anybody hear any volume? It's a little bit smaller than we thought, but not awful. I mean, look how big that looks, though. I mean, okay, Maybe they've got expectations for bigger, but coffee table, sofa, TV, bed, big balcony there. That doesn't look too small for me, but yeah, I guess that's just the way that you interpret the size of the rooms, you know. Yeah, that lobster. I'll leave that on Lobster Bisque for a second. Did Wonder Sail at full capacity? I just returned from Celebrity Reflection, and they were at 1,280 passengers and 1,002 crew, basically 30%. Yeah, Judy, that's I know Celebrity, actually a lot of the different groups that I'm in, and they're posting on about Celebrity cruises a lot that they're at much lower capacity. I'm just curious, obviously Celebrity's part of Royal Caribbean, right? But I'm curious if Celebrity's keeping to their capacity, if they're keeping to their capacity guidelines, if that makes sense, and they're not overbooking it without anybody knowing that they've added a few more people. Looking at the one video I watched yesterday, I mean, obviously on Sail Away, a ton of people were up on the deck of the ship, but there's not. I mean, short of knowing somebody who knows the number, I guess we won't really know what their capacity is. I mean, even if you have 50% of the 7,000, that's still 3,000 plus. That lobster bisque does look delicious, Daryl. Yes, I'll just go back to it. Sorry, everybody. You're getting nauseous from watching me clicking too much. Yeah, I love lobster bisque. I worked on Norwegian Cruise Line for a few years before going to Carnival, and they've got the La Bistro, which is basically French cuisine dining. And they had the lobster bisque there, and that was pretty much your standing order. Actually, on Carnival as well, in the 555 steakhouse, they've got lobster bisque. And my gosh, yeah, this one, it looks like a big prawn right there, or a shrimp, I guess. And that's probably a little crawfish. Exactly as I'm talking to, a plane's just going overhead. So... yeah, volume is fine. Yeah, that lobster bisque is delicious. I'll just skip through these very fast so we can get to... maybe there's new photos. Maybe everyone's giving a bit of a wave away. Oh, that's a blank. Yeah, this PTZ, I noticed this in another post. I think they were trying to get on the camera, the Sail Away live camera that shows the ships leaving the port. And someone's got a sign out here. These look like someone's cabin here. I guess they've kind of done a bit of a meet and greet for the Sail Away of the ship. Yeah, I mean, it does look kind of full here, but I mean, you know, always on Sail Away, there's a lot more people up on the ship and on the deck. Yeah, 1,200 guests though, Judy. That's not a lot of guests on the ship. I mean, you definitely feel it being empty with 1,200. I mean, no question about that. I mean, you've got to wonder what the cruise line's break even is. I mean, me working on cruise ships, it was never ever discussed kind of what a break even is. For the shops, we'd have to make a survey because we were a concessionaire on board. And part of being a concessionaire, we're paying rent to the cruise line to be there. And basically, it's what they call percentage rent. Plenty of people out on the balconies. Yeah, these look like they're just never ending. These balcony cabins look very, very, very similar, don't they? Like Beb will kind of mention there that they're lots of people waving. There's just tons and tons of balconies. But, you know, where they've set themselves apart here is these, you can see some people waving up here, these like 2-story like sky suites. I think they're called sky suites. I think that's what they call them, Royal. And these just a huge room, like just silly, you know, how big they are. Yeah, there's a lot of people waving. 1,200 people means no lines. Yeah, right. That's very true. And also, I guess getting chairs on Lido deck as well is kind of a big factor. how few chairs or how many spare chairs there'd be. I mean, the cruise lines don't necessarily have, a chair per person sort of thing, but Facebook's kind of struggle through that there. Yeah, I'll just sort of see if we can pull up here. Now, actually, what I'll do is I'll just pull up this guy. This is my friend Bob here. He lives in Freeport, Bahamas. Now, I know Freeport cops a lot of flack for the place not being beautiful, but this is Lovers Beach in Freeport. I just thought I'd show you a couple of his photos. I hope there's a few. He likes to go beach combing a lot. And that honestly looks like a postcard, and he's just put that coconut right there. But that's a few photos of Freeport. And that doesn't look real either. But I just thought I'd show you those couple of photos of Oh, there's another one with some driftwood in it. So anyone that ever says Freeport's ugly and not amazing and not beautiful, you need to kind of get out a bit further, than where the ships dock, you know what I mean? So, let's see if we can find a couple of questions here or there. I'm sure not, but this is Carnival Cruise. If I carry on a 12-pack of drinks, do they have to be in the box, or can they be individual cans, be spread out through my carry-on? Now, there's not actually a specific answer to this. The cruise line say that it basically has to be in your carry-on. And you'll see most people that go on the ships do carry on the 12-pack as it's packaged. And so, it says, I guess it's what have I ever put? I always take them loose in my carry-on. I always see people struggling with the 12-pack. No way, you're welcome. I want to say when we have done it, they took the cans out of the packs to inspect. Yeah, right. So what some people tend to get smart with, the 12-pack of sodas, people unglue them or peel them open and swap the cans with beer cans, or I guess even spritzer kind of drinks, and then seal them back up. And then sometimes the security at the cruise terminal rip them open to see what's inside and see if they're different or if they've been jerry-rigged, if that makes sense. When you get off the ship in Freeport, it kind of looks industrial. Yeah, that's very true. It does. Yeah, so basically that's the only harbor in Freeport. So it's basically I guess you could call it industrial harbor, or where the container and cargo ships come in. It's also where the dry docks are for when the cruise lines do dry docks in Freeport. Where you dock right there when you first come into the port, they've done a lot of work on it over the years, and they kind of try to put a bit of a kind of flea market there and some little small, not cafes, but little eateries. It doesn't look beautiful when you first come into the port. I mean, the color of the water and the ocean looks amazing. So it's not as amazing as it is, but once you get out of that port area, it does sort of pick up. I mean, gotta remember, I guess not remember, but like the islands were basically they're not overly populated. So they're not basically built out and everything is everywhere, and the population doesn't need, shopping everywhere and businesses everywhere, because there's not the population to support the economy, if that makes sense. So someone here in VIFP says, how bad are the staterooms at the front of the ship? We're on the Glory Room 7206. Thank you. 27 replies. I wonder if anyone's had a forward-facing cabin. I think Bevel you have, right? That 9206 or 9202 cabin, I think you had. So a couple of things that you could take into this question here. I mean, the answers can be very long and sometimes they can be very short, right? So the one thing with getting a cabin at the front of the ship is you don't have the noise of the engines or I guess the reverberation from the lower decks under the last passenger deck of the ship. So deck one is the last cabin with cabins, deck with cabins. Then deck 0, deck A, deck B, deck C below that are kind of where the crew areas are. And then so at the very front of the ship, you don't have any of that noise at all. You know, the only noise you'd hear in your room would be kind of the air conditioning. Deck 7 forward is actually the one that's below the bridge. Deck 8 is pretty much the bridge deck on most of on well, not on all the ships, but on some of the ships. Is it 8 on the Glory or are they on 10? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you don't have that noise. So if you're on deck 1 or 2 aft, you definitely hear the noise. Some people kind of say being above the theater, you can hear the noise. Theater's on up to deck 5 on most ships, on Carnival anyway, on the Glory. So you wouldn't hear anything really deck 7 forward. Also, there's nothing else forward of deck 7 where that cabin is. So there's not going to be a lot of traffic and people walking through that corridor of that cabin. So I guess that's some of the perks. Some people say the ships move around more at the very front. Movement from the ship, you know, all the way forward. Yeah, midship is kind of where you get the missing all the chat here. Why is it not showing? Russell, I like what Carnival is doing with going back to the past and naming their new ships like Celebration and Mardi Gras, and I think that they will have one called Jubilee. Yeah, correct. Yeah, so actually these are all the 3 names of the after. It's XL class, I think, is the name of the Celebration, Jubilee. Yeah, where they basically renamed them from their past ships. I think that's an idea, no question at all. Yeah, and then I believe, I'm not sure if it's Celebration or Jubilee. They're going to use some interior decoration from some of the older ships where they've removed some things, like when the ships have gone to be sold and scrapped and so on. And I think it's the Celebration is the one that's going to comes out at the end of the year, you know, to the 50-year anniversary of Carnival, which is a lot of the ships are sailing on right now. This Celebration, they're calling it Celebration. Yeah, I think, you know, Carnival should not hide from the past. Okay, Cunard's been around 100 years, but it's a massive achievement to get. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, I worked on Jubilee. I worked on Celebration. Celebration was my first ship, by the way. Yeah, one time when boarding the ship, I got to see security catch someone trying to sneak alcohol into the ship. It was a husband and wife. The wife looked at the husband like she had no idea what was going on. Yeah, I guess people know that they're doing it. I mean, I guess there's a time where maybe one person didn't tell the other person they're doing it. When my dad and mum go to Bali on holiday he's got a strict rule of 2 packets of cigarettes allowed through customs. Most countries, you can bring a carton per person, which would be 200 cigarettes. They're very cheap in Asia, right? So he brings 6 cartons. And he's even buying like extra cigarettes when he's not with mum out them and just slips them in between his clothes and in his shoes and under his. So if they were ever to pull up my mum and check the bag, I think she'd be shocked how much extra cigarettes my dad's brought back without declaring it or hoping it ever gets stopped. So yeah, I guess people will always want to get away with on alcohol or sneaking it on, if you want to call it that. Why is my show thing not working? It's kind of a bit slow. Yes, I had come on and gone off. What's going on there? Where's my show not working? There's a show button here that I can show the comments, and that's why I like this. Yeah, I had cabin 202, and it was at the front of the ship, and if the ship was kind of rough seas, the weight of the ship, obviously the engine's at the back, and obviously just the natural physics of the ship. The front of the ship would come in and out of the water a little bit more and have more movement. So if you're actually up on the spar cabins, like deck, I guess it's 12 and 14, I think, I'll feel it more. And that's another one I've actually pointed this out before, that the spar girls, whenever there's rough seas and they're going through maybe a sea day where it's rough, the spar girls are kind of ones that sort of feel it the most. And they're always the ones that get seasick quite easily. Purvis, there's Purvis, how we going? Good to see you on the live stream. I know you've watched before. Once I had a forward cabin on the old Carnival holiday, we were awakened by the sound of the anchor chain. Yes. Yeah, I for the shop cabins on pretty much all of the I guess Conquest class, Destiny class, Horizon, our shop cabins were always at the very front of the ship. Actually I think on holiday, was it midship? I think we didn't probably have a forward cabin, but basically deck 1 forward is where the shoppy cabins were, which is essentially right behind the chain room or the anchor room. And particularly when the ship obviously anchored in like in Cayman or wherever we were, or you would hear that noise of it getting dropped and ding 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 ding. Oh, Russell, the sound keeps cutting out. Yeah, I wonder if when I'm just noticing here when I'm clicking over to it's saying excellent connection for stream settings, stream health, stream is healthy, stream health is excellent. So across on YouTube, it's giving me all the good signals. Thanks, Daryl. That's not my amazing microphone, I hope. Everything is plugged in. I've not got anything to touch. I'm standing away from it, so I'm at my normal distance away. So, I'm just wondering if there's a tiny delay. I've got not too much stuff open, I don't think. Maybe I'll close one or two things. I feel like I've got not enough things open today as normal. So, my cabin happened to be close to the crew entrance door and the stairs. So there was activity up and down the stairs and down below where I heard noise, but it wasn't that bad. Yeah, 9-2. Yeah, I guess, there's a forward crew elevator on the horizon. And then there's basically that forward door that would come out to it. And crew do use obviously corridors to go to and from places. So, this is kind of pretty much the luck or unlucky thing. There is going to be crew access doors here and there. That was on Panorama. Okay, so I guess Panorama and Horizon built the same way. Happened to be close to the crew entrance door and the stairs. Yeah, there is. I guess there's 3. I'm talking about Carnival ships here again, everybody. So, there is 2 or 3 crew elevators that are not guest elevators, and then they need access corridors to go to and from. So these would always affect, the cabins that are nearby. I noticed in another channel, Facebook group a few days ago that actually someone mentioned that they were in like 7-3 something. I wonder if we can pull that up. Carnival Glory 7206. Now the problem I've got, this may not work because I'm using my crazy French internet. I might not be able to pull it up, I think. Let's pull up this one. This may work. Yes. This is my non-French one because Facebook is banned in Russia and Twitter is banned. 7206. We go to some of these deck plan, cruise deck plans. This one right here. We'll just have a look at this for a minute. I don't know. Yeah, 7206. That was the one we're looking at. Now, if we actually have a look at this map right here, so that's that forward cabin right there. And then there's the door going out to what they call the secret deck. So pretty much very few or nobody would access that apart from people that would go through these couple of doors right here to get, out to that forward area. And then this gray area is a crew corridor right here. Can you see that? And then there'll be a crew door, I would imagine either right here or over here. Sorry if it's not zoomed in enough and everyone's on mobile and it's very hard to see. Let's see if we can close that one. Yeah, right here, there'd be a crew door. So you'd kind of get that door opening and closing a little bit too much. Let's just go back to 100%. Can we see the whole deck? Carnival Freedom. I just want to see if we can see the whole of deck 7. Mostly because I want to see the map here. Now, if you go back along deck 7 here, and I'm pretty sure room service is deck 7. Now, can you see? I think it's this corridor at the very back down here. That's the engine right there and the engine casing. And then this corridor is where room service is in this middle part of deck 7. Actually, if we go to Carnival Horizon, we'd see it'll be the same place as well. So that would affect you greatly, greatly. If you would end up Horizon. If you were to end with that cabin there. Come on. Sorry, everybody. My internet's great, but sometimes not. Yeah, it's the same place there at the back of deck 7. Can you see here this looking corridor right here at the back? That's room service just there. So yeah, you'd be kind of greatly affected if you had one of those aft cabins. I just thought I'd point that out as one of the questions. Brandon's here. How are we going, Brandon? Good to see you in the live stream. A few of our regulars are all here. By the way, we got 6 likes, so thanks to anybody who's posted a like. I always think it's always good if we've got as many likes as people watching, so I don't expect thousands of people, but it would be nice to get more, of course. The more the merrier. Daryl's paid for our McDonald's tomorrow, so thank you, Daryl. Oh, no, not tomorrow. I don't think we're meeting tomorrow. Maybe on Monday or so. I don't know when we're going to meet up. Yeah, so I made a joke. I'll just tell you when I was with Dimmer. So when we were walking 3 or 4 days ago in Moscow, I found 2 rubles, a 2 ruble coin on the floor. And because obviously Russians, the money's devalued, right? We made a bit of a joke. It wasn't worth bending over to pick up the 2 ruble coin because it's got so little value now. But for me, if I find a coin, I'll always pick it up, right? Find a penny, pick it up. Good luck. And he's like, oh, it's not worth picking up now because the dollar's so horribly valued. And we were talking about I think is it Venezuela or somewhere like that, and Zimbabwe, I think, was the one where they devalued the currency so much that you need to carry like a wheelbarrow of money to go shopping, or like a suitcase of currency to go shopping, because the money's got so little or no value. So let's see if there's any more in the chat here. In the chat. Actually, let's go to this Carnival Valor group. How many people are in this one? 6,000 people. And I think the ship's out of is it the Valor in New Orleans, I think. People are reading about Dr. Zeus at sea. What is this? So yeah, the cruise line or Carnival had Dr. Zeus, and they've got basically a tie-in with the brand and then with the kids club. And they did actually have a breakfast, the green eggs and ham breakfast, but during COVID and the ship's coming back, they haven't brought it back into play. Do they allow you to put your bathing suits on the balcony to dry? They do suggest you don't hang things on your balcony. In terms of things blowing away. I wonder what everyone's answers are. Nothing can be hung on the balconies, which is true. I bring towel clips for the chair. Drape them on your chairs. Right. There is a way to hang them in your shower. Yeah, there is a clothesline. Pretty much every cruise line in the world has that pull string in the bathroom as a clothesline. There we go. Daryl, there's some more food for you. Is that going to come up? There's some more. I think that's... Oh, this is actually in New Orleans. Someone before the cruise went and got some, what do you call them? Crawfish, I think they're called. And potatoes and some salad there. Just to make you jealous there, Daryl, of some more food. I'll do one more question. Is it advisable to buy travel insurance? 49 responses. Now, I would tell you yes, 100% yes. Get travel insurance. If anything happens, you just, God forbid, don't know what'll happen. Could something happen? Then, it's a matter of who's going to pay and how you're going to pay, and especially if you get taken to hospital in the port. Even some hospitals force you to pay with cash and not even, allow insurance kind of to claim back through it and things like that. So, if maybe there's cancellations, if there's, flight changes and you basically miss your flight or you miss the cruise, things will be claim backable. Maybe your luggage gets lost. Maybe something gets damaged or stolen or lost during your travels. So yeah, it's I wouldn't even say no to this answer. Russell, if you drink, what is your favorite drink? Yeah, I don't drink spirits. I mean, obviously, I work in a liquor store on a cruise ship. I drink beer, pretty much. On the cruise ships for a lot of years, I used to drink Corona. Now, people always say Corona is not the best beer in the world. And I guess I'll have to agree with those people. The cruise line then made a big deal about they can't serve the lime in the Corona because they can't recycle the glass bottles. So in terms of the crew bar on board, there's a crew bar on the cruise ships. They stopped serving Corona in bottles to the crew, so you can take the bottle and drink it straight out of the bottle. In fear of us going to the bar or to the kitchen and getting sliced limes and putting them in your beer because they can't recycle the glass. So then they made Corona being the only beer that they'd pour into a cup or a glass for you to drink it as a beer in a glass. So then I've just drunk Stella Artois for the whole time since then. I don't like beer in cans. I like it only in glass bottles. I just don't like drinking beer out of an aluminium can or aluminum can. So yeah, any beer I'll either drink it out of a pint glass or out of a bottle, and that's pretty much it. I don't drink any spirits. I just don't. I've never kind of got into it, even though I've sold them for how many years. I've never got into it, drinking spirits. My wife likes to drink wine and cognac. They drink cognac here when they get together, or brandies. My wife likes Baileys. Martini, likes Aperol. Actually, for her last birthday last year, I got her a bottle of Aperol for her birthday. What ship offers the best crew cabins? Now, I guess if I compare the years that I worked on NCL and then Carnival, NCL for a lot of years, I'm not sure of their newest ships, but they did actually have 4-berth cabins for quite a while. And it was 4 to a room and then 1 bathroom. Actually, the shop staff, when I was on Norwegian Star, which is currently still sailing, the shop staff didn't live in 4-berth cabins. They only had 2-berth cabins. It was kind of a contract agreement that they wouldn't be in a 4-berth cabin. I'm probably going to tell you that the best crew cabins are probably on the newer ships, purely because they've got newer furniture, I guess. So they've got flat screen TVs, they've got a fridge, they've got a safe in the wardrobe. The cabins, the bathrooms are all plastic modular, kind of one-piece bathrooms. The older fantasy class ships had the metal, kind of cabinet doors, like the mirrored doors that open for your putting your things on the shelf in the cabin. And they were kind of got rusty, and the metal didn't ever look nice. The older ships had tiled bathrooms, believe it or not, whereas now they're all plastic modular, so the tiles don't get dirty and grimy, and they'd have to replace them every few years. So I'd definitely say the newer cabins mean newer ships. I know when I went on Horizon for the inaugural and I walked in the room, they had a nicer mattress. So they got better quality mattresses than they did have. If I look back at the fantasy class ships, you know what I mean? The old wooden kind of bunk beds with the wooden ladder, the mattresses were a bit thinner. They weren't as good quality. So they put a lot of effort into basically making better quality furniture for the crew cabins to make them more homely. The old fantasy class had just the fire blanket sort of bed sheeting, if that makes sense. Whereas the newer ships, you get like a duvet, like in the guest cabins. The bigger TVs on the newer ships as well. So the flat screen TVs get mounted on the wall. The older Carnival ships, they had the old traditional TV tube television. They usually had TV VCR combos, like the old, I guess like 13, 14, 15-inch TVs. And they used to take up so much space on the desk of the cabin. Whereas now they kind of wall mounted. And the TVs are the same as the guest channels. So you've got the movie channels and then the different TV channels. So there are more interactive TVs, if that makes sense. So I guess that's a big factor. I mean, the newer ships. I've got a friend who's on Virgin at the moment, and they're using a lot more single berth crew cabins. So basically there's 2 crew cabins side by side, and then there's 1 bathroom shared. And it's kind of like the Romeo and Juliet bathroom. So when you walk in, there's basically a toilet and a shower. And then you walk in and lock the door on the opposite side to lock them out of the room. Then in your cabin, you've actually got a sink and a mirror in your room. And then the bed and the desk. And they're trying to do a lot more single crew cabins, but then you share the bathroom. So basically you end up about the same size. In the end. So if that answers. Yeah, Daryl says if it's paper money, it's probably toilet paper now. Yeah, that's like the ones for Venezuela and Zimbabwe. I don't think the Russian ruble devalued that much, but the cost of the metro here is 46 rubles. So that, I guess, for me, in comparison, that price has come down a little bit. the average person, I mean, they're still earning the same salary. That's super important, right? People's salaries haven't gone up 20 or 30% yesterday because everything happened. Bevel says Russell, Carnival Radiance is now home ported on the West Coast. Which ship was it before? It was Radiance. Was that? Oh my gosh. So yeah, there's Sunshine, Sunrise, and Radiance. Was Radiance the Destiny? My gosh. Oh my Russian. Oh my gosh. Are we going to get that? Wikipedia in English? Yeah, Destiny class ship. Oh, does it say? Yeah, she became the last of the 3 Destiny class ships to undergo a refit. The ship's refit was completed in October. Oh, Victory. Oh, so Radiance was Carnival Victory. Yeah, and that was actually the one that was stuck over in Spain for pretty much the 2 years. Yeah, the ship was actually over there. It sailed away. It sailed over there and then basically got stuck there. If I'm not mistaken, is that right? It was completed on. Yeah, right. That's correct. Yeah, that was the one that was. Does it say it? Maybe, yeah. In April 2020, the vessel was supposed to begin a $200 million dry dock in Cadiz. However, due to COVID and pandemic, the refit was delayed until summer 2021. Now, christened by Shaquille O'Neal, and his mum was there as well. And ship entered service the next day. Yeah, so the ship had to do the repositioning over to Long Beach, which is crazy how long that sort of sailing is. Now the internet seems to have decided to catch up with me. I don't know. Yeah, when your clothes dry, they can blow off the balcony, right? Yeah, this whole thing with putting things on your balcony, like, I don't know why people want to have their back garden or something. Sound like you get wet shorts and a towel here and there and stuff. I mean, for me, when I come back from the beach from a port day, I pretty much just have my shorts, right? My like swim. And I just put them in the bathroom and let them dry over a day or way. I just basically put them in the bathroom and let them dry, and that's it. Yeah, crawfish. Yeah, that was what we saw in that picture before, right? Yes, I would buy travel insurance, but they are not offering it for you if you're coming from New York. That's interesting. I guess is that local companies that are doing that, or is that? Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if that's just region specific or things like that. I mean, I know for Australia, like there were a lot of travel insurance companies weren't offering travel insurance, particularly when you fly somewhere and get travel insurance for 7 or 14 or 21 days. They weren't giving like pandemic insurance in the fact that you go overseas, catch coronavirus, I guess, end up in a hospital or end up not being able to fly in and out or travel. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those sort of times are over in terms of the cruise ship ones. I think the cruise lines now, depending on each cruise line, they're kind of demanding that you have travel insurance kind of as a minimum or a minimum amount of coverage to cover costs. Yeah, were there ever married crew members working on the same ships? Daryl, there was. Yeah, a lot. Actually, I'm not saying lots. Probably more than what you realize. And then they don't have necessarily couples cabins. You can request to share with a female or a male, I guess, or I don't know, 2 males, 2 females. You actually have to sign an agreement, actually, and both have to sign it. Your department head has to sign it that you're going to share a cabin together. And because basically once they the cabin assignments are 2 boys, 2 girls, 2 boys, 2 girls, and so on. Once they kind of mix that number up, and then the cabins become odd. So if one was to sign off and one was to sign on, then they'd struggle then to kind of find a replacement to go in that same room, right? So they are very adamant that if you're going to be a couple, you stay as a couple. You can't break up. You can't move out. Can't have a disagreement. You're in it for the long haul, and like on land, right? But they were working on basically creating a couple's cabin where it's basically like not necessarily a double bed in the room, but like a bed and a half. So you end up with a bit of a smaller cabin, but you've got a bigger bed. And I mean, for me, I know I've never stayed in a couple's cabin, but I know when I've seen them, I've never been kind of impressed with them being bigger. The bed is bigger, but that's it. The room is smaller because it kind of compensates for the size of the bed. That makes sense. But yeah, there is definitely couples on board. Couples, once you're also linked, they link your IDs in the system so that you come on as a couple, you sign off as a couple, your dates aren't out of line with each other. That makes sense. So that you can stay on the same contract length, start to end. But you have basically in a form, there's like a couples kind of request agreement. And then they link your crew IDs together so that when you go home, you'll end up going back on the same ship in your 2 different jobs if you're working in different departments. And it works out. So yeah, there is definitely couples, not couples cabins, but there is crew members that are couples living together, either boyfriend, a lot more boyfriend and girlfriends. I mean, that's a given. Probably not that many married couples where they're husband, wife forever and ever, so blow up an extra large balloon and drape shorts over the balloon. Oh, okay, I guess to keep the shape, right? Maybe, or I don't know. Little victory, yeah. Daryl, you're on it. I was thinking I wasn't too sure when I went to Google that here. So, well, there's some more Croft for you. I'll just leave that up on screen there. Brandon says, yeah, I purchased insurance for my Princess cruise, and then they canceled and refunded it, saying that no longer offer it to New York residents. That's very interesting. Yeah, I guess the only thing with travel insurance, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that will always know that sometimes it takes quite a long time to claim back from them, and who do you claim? Who do you claim the money from? I mean, you go through the travel insurance company, of course. They may have to claim back through the cruise line or through the medical companies. So there can be quite a bit of a delay in getting refunds. And some people don't want to go through the whole effort of it. There might be like a, what do you call this? Like like you pay like a minimum amount. Like when you crash your car and you've got insurance, you pay like a small fee, like, I don't know what it is, 500 or excess. You pay like an excess for a claim on your insurance. The cruise lines will not sell you insurance if you are a resident of New York or New Jersey, New York or New York City. Well, I wonder if that's because of the high COVID counts going back when, or maybe we'll have to look that up or Google it and see what the main reason is. This is the thing with you guys in America. Sorry to kind of mention it like that, but I mean, you've got so many crazy rules and so many different, like, state by state rules and laws. I mean, even if you look at like Carnival as an example, when you look at their safe sailing protocol now, right? There's quite a, like, if you're a California resident, they've got this rule. If you're a Texas resident, this rule. There's just too many. It was just New York with the cruise lines as far as Carnival goes. It would add up. You could put it on initially, but as soon as you were put there, you were a resident of New York, it would take it off. Wow. The clothes dry over the balloon without touching the floor. I never thought about that. In our shoppy cabin that we had like on Horizon, we wouldn't have room for balloons. Really. Good idea though. Yeah, so you can't get a divorce while on a cruise if you're a crew member. Yeah, that would be. I've never ever heard of it. I mean, a lot of boyfriend girlfriends break up, or stop dating. I guess. I mean, there is a bit of a commitment to going and doing this couples cabin like agreement, these papers that you sign, particularly if you're not in the same department. So if you're not like both in housekeeping or both in dining room or both entertainment or whatever, they do, pretty much lock you in. Once they've linked your crew IDs, you're kind of effectively married where you're a couple as a boyfriend, girlfriend. I mean, there's a lot of unofficial couples where they sleep in each other's rooms on a nightly basis, but it's not in the system, so that they don't kind of get locked into it, sort of thing. So yeah, I've never heard of a divorce, unless they go home. I mean, most crew that are married tend to be from the same country, like housekeeping and dining room and bar and so on. You don't get that many that are in different departments that are from different countries, because it's kind of just, love is love, right? But just that possibility of it kind of working out is just much lower percentage. Yeah, this lady that posted this works at the cruise terminal in New Orleans, and she said that she got it from Zapados. I guess that's a place in New Orleans somewhere. Let's go back to normal Facebook, because we're going to get. Oh, this VIFP is a good group. You guys are not part of this one. 87,000 people in this group. We just need like 100 people in the chat. Never had a balcony before. Okay, what is the strangest thing you've seen or experienced on a cruise? I don't know. I don't really have. I mean, I'm working a lot, so I don't see a lot of things. I mean, when you're in the shop all day and all night, you don't see a lot of things. 300 responses. I hooked up with somebody. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of things going on. I don't see all the excitement that everybody else sees. You know what I mean? In the shop, I mean, you might see something going on in the lobby, and that's about it. I'm going on a trip. I've got 4 outfits, so I packed 35 just to be safe. That's kind of wise. Can you bring your own luggage onto the ship? Yeah, you can do that. I mean, it has to still fit through the X-ray machine at the check-in. I guess that people kind of panic that they need their luggage the minute they walk on. They want to change outfits. For me personally, it's not a big deal especially even as crew, you have to give up your luggage at the terminal, and it gets carried on board, and then you walk on with just like your bag or backpack. So I mean, I don't see any advantage to carrying it on. It's just more things to lug, so 47 responses. What do you recommend for transportation if family is staying overnight in Orlando the night before and would prefer transportation that will pick up at a hotel by the airport and take you to the port first thing in the morning? Would appreciate any suggestions. Yeah, this is very difficult to answer these kind of port-specific questions. About how to get to and from the port. I definitely recommend flying in the day before. That's a given. If I could, and I for crew members, we do that. We do fly in the day before the cruise. We don't ever fly in the day of. I mean, now, I'll just close that. Sorry. Yeah, like 3D. Like for Orlando, for instance, I mean, the distance from Orlando to Port Canaveral is about 45 minutes an hour, depending on traffic. So, I mean, I definitely recommend, like for Orlando there, to stay at Port Canaveral or Cocoa Beach, and then basically figure out either. I mean, so many people now have Uber and Lyft and Get. I mean, there's plenty of shuttle services that get you to and from the airport to the ports. I mean, I definitely kind of do things the day before. I also, for us as crew members as well, I don't like to stay like out at the airport hotels. I like to be much closer to the ship for the morning of getting on the ship as well. Yeah, flying to the cruise, should we fly the day of or the day before? Yeah, the day of, I mean, you just can't rely on things not getting delayed. I mean, if you miss one plane in the morning, if you're not driving, there's too many things that can go wrong. 200 responses to that one. On a 5 and 7 day cruise, for instance, how many drinks have you hit the 15 drink max with the package? 494 responses. Yeah, 15 drinks a day. I think, isn't it like 20 or $25 value on the minimum drink? I think each cruise line has a slightly different threshold of the minimum price. Yeah, 15 a day. I mean, on a sea day, I reckon you could probably get close to hitting it. I mean, a port day where you get off, maybe you have a drink in the morning or get a bottle of water or coffee, and then drinks in the evening after the ship sails away. I think it'd be a battle to do 15 a day for the whole length of the cruise, though. Daryl says, how do cruise directors stay so happy and peppy and energized week after week? Same ship, same island, same ports over and over. Yeah, that's the one thing that's kind of that last part of your sentence there. I mean, it's like copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. And I know when I was doing the boat drills on the ships, I had quite a bit of interaction with like the singer and the entertainment guys. On the Dream, I was in the main theater for the boat drill, and that was the entertainment director, which is the one that's now under the cruise director that does all the back of house stuff. And you know what I mean? It's really a bit of a personal thing, how I guess you could wake up each morning, but you're in a kind of a tourism industry, you're in a people industry, and you've really got to be a people person. You know what I mean? You've got to kind of like waking up every day and like what you're doing. Where you maybe had a background in some sort of, guest relations and getting up on a microphone. I mean, I'm sure there's days where they don't want to be there, don't feel well, feel crappy, feel, something went on with their girlfriend or boyfriend, or they went to the mess and didn't like what was for lunch. But they've just got to grin and bear it and suck it up and get on with it. I didn't really know too many cruise directors personally. That I'm saying about this entertainment director, he did mostly a lot of back of house stuff, and he's not on ships now. He's now running he's now doing entertainment at a hotel on land up in Canada, and he's done that now since COVID. Basically, never went back to ships. He's completely happy doing what he's doing, working at these hotels. Yeah, it's just a copy and paste thing. I mean, crew members don't see it as, Monday to Sunday, 7-day-a-week cruising. It's whatever port you're in that day, whatever sea day it is. And then you're always on the clock. So you're always looking at your watch, what activity you're doing, or what time, like for the shops open and close, what time is your lunch break, what time does the activity start and end. And it becomes like that, like you're kind of doing it, like remote control or like robot in a way. I mean, and unfortunately, a lot of the cruise directors have the same jokes. They've got a lot of scripted things that they're doing. I mean, what I find interesting, like when I was on Horizon and we had Mike Pack as the cruise director, and then there was the Flying Scotsman. I mean, just to see the difference in cruise directors and how they interact with the guests and how, it comes across as a real person. I mean, obviously every guest every week's different, and it makes the cruise different. So they do get that, little bit of difference in the interactions. So I guess it's a personal thing. For me, you'd meet guests and they'd come back in the shop every day or every few days and ask what they did in the ports, and maybe you saw them outside in the ports, and that makes a difference. You know what I mean? And then they get off, and it's a new lot of people the next week. So, Brandon says, I hit my 15 drinks every day. I drink an hour for 15 hours. It's easy to do. One drink an hour. Yeah, right. I guess if you look at it that way. And if I had 15 drinks, I wouldn't be able to walk. I mean, I don't know. I spread it out over the day maybe, but even 15 beers when I think about it. Yeah, seeing drunk people, as long as they're not violent, is always funny. Yeah, that I agree with that. Yeah, I don't like seeing people yelling and screaming and acting stupid. I'm going to say stupid. Or like tools. People call them a tool, right? In Australia, we have toolies, or a tool. So, yeah, I mean, drunk people, especially like when you see them in Cozumel coming back from the port and going to Mr. Sancho's or Paradise Beach or going to Senior Frogs. As long as they're happy drunks, I think that's for me. I mean, I know I've drunk and I've got drunk from drinking on the ship as well. And I mean, I just get more talkative and, maybe a little bit louder. That's about it. What happens when a new crew member doesn't like what they're doing? Can they switch jobs, or do they just quit and get off the next port? Yeah, you can, as a crew member, like I was working as staff in the shops, so I didn't work for the cruise line. So if you're, for instance, in housekeeping, I mean, obviously when you apply for the job, that's the job you're going to get. You're not given that job and that's what you're doing. So pretty much your skill is in the job that you're hired for. You can go on the ship, they've got human resources and they've got a crew training center, and you can go and ask about other positions. I mean, actually, Carnival even has a notice board sometimes saying they need more of these people, more of those people, like particularly jobs where there's not as many crew members in that position, like maybe they need plumbers or electricians, or they need, I don't know, let's say photographers, and crew who have relevant experience could apply for those positions. Obviously, the cruise line want people to be skilled in the job they're doing. Where you're maybe in housekeeping and you think, oh, I might want to work in the dining room, you can apply to do like cross training. So they'll give you an opportunity to be able to train in another department. Typically, you'd have to go home and then sign back on again. There's not like a next cruise you're a waiter when you were in the housekeeping the week before. So the you do have that opportunity to change departments. They call it changing departments. But obviously, most of the kind of like management positions and deck and engine are very much skilled positions. So you'd tend to find people where they're maybe like not cabin stewards, but maybe hotel stewards or galley stewards, or like guys in the engine room, like the wipers or the deck cadets, like the ones that are doing the deck painting and washing. They're a little bit easier positions to change departments. Once you get to a skilled position, it's very difficult, short of you going home and retraining and then reapplying. People don't typically quit. It's very rare that you see people quit. Mostly staff members and maybe like entertainment or a girl in the spa or shops. Most of the crew stick it out and do their contract, and that's what I would even tell any crew member to do that. Try and do a contract, get through it, try to live life, let's say. And, you took that massive step to get on a plane and fly across the world to get on a cruise ship, embrace it. And, if it's not for you at the end of the day, then obviously go home, so. Day before the cruise is always best for traveling. The day of anything can happen. Yeah, you just don't know. Even I'm like, not so much going to and from the ships, but when I'm on holiday and I plan, like when we've gone to Bali or Thailand and stuff, and in Bali with my wife and I've been, where we've gone from one island to another, or we've flown or took a boat. I'm very over planning everything, you know what I mean? Thinking out, what time we're going to arrive, what time we've got to leave, so the casino loves it when I get drunk. Yeah, you got to remember the casino dealers aren't taking your money. I mean, they're just custodians of the chips. But I guess you gamble more, so the casino win or lose more money. So I've met you, Russell, and you're kind of reserved. Yeah, I guess I'm just very chatty. And I can talk to anybody about anything. I mean, that's why these live streams come across very easily. Yeah, I guess, I'm kind of reserved. I mean, I guess, I don't know, Zen, do you think I'm kind of reserved? Maybe he knows or not. Yeah, I guess I am. I mean, the thing with the cruise lines and working on the cruise ships, you're working for the cruise line, right? So what you say and what you do and what your actions are portray to the guests. And if you do something wrong or say something wrong or, God forbid, swear or get upset with the guest, then you're going to get reported. You're going to get, warnings. You're going to get fired maybe. So there's an element of having to be reserved. And keeping your words and P's and Q's all correct and not saying anything wrong that would upset the guest. Once you know the guest, let's say, to a point where you've got a bit of a friendship going, maybe you can say something a little bit off the cuff and say something truthfully. But you just don't know nowadays. I'm going to say that even in the last years, that who that person is or what or who they know on the ship, or like particularly with the Carnival Horizon, like on the inaugurals, there was a lot of upper management for the cruise line on board. There was family of management, so anybody could be anybody, and you could say something to the wrong person and they take it the wrong way. I mean, even when we're out of New Orleans, I remember I had a bit of a joking kind of thing where I was against the New Orleans Saints for a little while when they kept winning it. Remember many years ago when they won the Super Bowl? And the guests just got angry about it. They were very passionate about their team. And like when you were kind of like, oh, I'm going for the Dallas Cowboys when they're playing the Saints, and people got upset, and they can take that the wrong way very easily, So Zen says, do you need videographers on the ship, and what are they filming? In general, it would be cool to make a separate YouTube channel for each ship. Yeah, so the cruise lines don't have like YouTube channels. I know the cruise lines do have their own, channel, but mostly it's like advertising and commercials. The Carnival, for instance, used to have videographers. They used to actually make a cruise diary video once a week where they'd film all the activities on board, and then someone would edit it. And actually, this was back before DVD. It used to be VHS, and then it was CD or DVDs. Actually, sort of before digital, I guess. So it was like DVDs that you'd actually take home that actually burn the DVD of that cruise and those activities. Then they'd have some stock footage of the ship as well in the video. But they'd film as many people as they could on the cruise and make it into a DVD that they would actually sell. And you can actually buy that DVD to take home of your cruise. Now they don't really have videographers on board. They've got photographers that do like portrait shooting. They don't have people that film things as that role. Some of the shows need like cameras for some of the projector images on the screens and things like that. The cruise lines don't really use videographers like they did years gone by because it's too quick that things need to happen. So it's a good position. Photographers are pretty much standard on the ship. They're not really photographers the way they're doing their own photography though. They're mostly doing portrait photography with backdrops. And it's pretty much determined what photos they're taking. They're not being creative in any way. In life, very cheerful and sociable. Thanks. I guess that's kind of, is that the one that's just above being reserved? Thanks. I thought Russell was outgoing. Ask him about deals on liquor or what mixes well. He'll open right up. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, where I talk about the promotions and discounts and what kind of drinks you could make. Yeah, that's just knowledge of my job. You know what I mean? That's, once I start talking about something that, I guess it's more about being passionate, right? So if you're passionate about what you do, you know what I mean? Even for me, like when I talk to another crew member on the ship, I mean, I'd love to talk to crew members that, of course, not that I'm not working with, like in the shops, and ask them about their job. And they're kind of the best at what they do in their position. So if you wanted to know something about like the toilet system, you'd ask the plumber, right? And that plumber would know the intricacies of the operation of the plumbing on the ship. And like whatever anybody else's job is on land, they know that backwards. I mean, when I was on land, okay, before I flew to Russia, I was doing merchandising in supermarkets, and I was doing refits of. Oh, I'll just take my photo away here. Sorry. Like this. Yeah, when they were doing the refits of the stores, like that's what I know, retail. So I did it in some liquor stores where I did the refits of the shop, and then in the supermarkets we do like the overnight rebuilding of the stores. And that was kind of my bread and butter, where I just knew what I was doing. When I got hired by a second company, and the lady, like for the first few nights, was kind of like, like shadowing me, but I just knew I could read the planograms. I knew what to do, how to build things, how to dismantle things. And I mean, I just knew what to do. And the lady was like kind of a little bit in shock, like how I'm knowing what to do so quickly. Whereas when they hire people without skill, if you like, or retail knowledge, they were just struggling every night, how to do it and what to do, and how to even put the strip where you put the price tickets on the front, how to clip them on the shelves and things like that. So, you met me on the horizon. Yeah, that's where I'm hoping to go back to. And I mean, by a long shot, that was my favorite liquor store on the all the Carnival ships I worked on. After that, I'd say Carnival Breeze. They've got a really nice. There we go. We're back again. All right. I'm going to kind of wind it up slowly here. I hope it's come across okay. Frozen Sky, yeah, black screen. The black screen of death. Sorry, everybody, about that. Yeah, it kind of, I thought it was going to end the broadcast, but it didn't. So this is the thing with the internet here, you know what I mean? We have wireless internet, but because I'm having to run Facebook through this VPN, because Facebook and Twitter has been banned here in Russia, I'm using it through VPN. So I think I'm just overclocking the internet a little bit too much. I asked you to report on the suite that I was getting for the cruise, and you did it. Yeah, so I did all those cabin walkarounds on the channel. It was like over 100 that I ended up doing. 100 different cabin tours. So I'm not sure the first ones weren't that great. And then all the last ones I did, and I even did some on the Sunrise, because the cabins had been done before it became Sunrise. Yeah, right. Has anyone worked on the ships longer than you? For the gift shops, there is, I think, one or two or three. Let me call it two or three that are longer than me, that are kind of, let's say, still current with the company. The one guy's from the Philippines. His name's Greg Lagaya. Greg. And then there was another guy. Actually, he was also from the Philippines. Philippines were pretty. I don't know his name now. I'm 22 years, I guess, this year now. Yeah, there was a couple that are maybe 3 or 4 years ahead of me. But for the gift shops, 5 or 10 years would be pretty much, a long time for shoppies, or they call shop stuff shoppies. But for Carnival, you'd get, people that are 20, 30 years. Now, I guess 50 years. There wouldn't be, maybe shoreside, there might be a few people that are there from the very beginning. I guess now for these celebration cruises, they might kind of point out a few people here and there, but 20, 30 years, there'd be some cabin stewards or head waiters, or maybe bosuns, maybe captains here and there that might be 20 years with the company. Yeah, they recorded my wedding 2016 Vista leaving out of New York. Yeah, I'm thinking, I guess, I don't think the current photographers like on Carnival are doing, I guess, wedding photography they're doing. So maybe they've got a video package set up if you do the weddings. But way back in the day, it was called Video Diary, and it was usually two guys, or maybe girls, but guys pretty much, that did this videoing. So one of them would video on one activities, one would do the other activities. What happened? Yeah, so they had Video Diary, and then basically they didn't really embrace it going forward. Now with digital and things like that, and editing and YouTubers that could almost do that on board the ships, it would probably work out really good. What happened? Yeah, the internet just basically shut down. My wireless internet basically died. I guess you could call it that. I'm just seeing if I can close more things that are running. My computer likes to just run everything that's really not necessary, and I'm trying to get rid of all these apps and background things running. Hope it wasn't Mr. P. Yeah. There is talk that they may shut down YouTube, but again, people will get around it like by using VPNs, like I'm doing for Facebook. So there's nothing shut down. LinkedIn has not worked in Russia for quite a few years, so I'm not sure if that's from the Russian side it's not working, or LinkedIn doesn't work in Russia. So I can only open LinkedIn with this. This is the browser that I'm using for. So LinkedIn actually works over here. Oh, it's not working. There you go. Well, that's interesting. Maybe the connection isn't back. Yeah, so LinkedIn, since the internet didn't restart, my French VPN isn't connecting. So yeah, if basically it's locked like that. Now if I go to it, it should open. Yeah, so there it goes. So now LinkedIn works in Russia. So there we go. So yeah, LinkedIn, it's too much business related. No, it's not up on the screen. Let me just share this because it's just saying there about LVMH. Yeah, Hermes, LVMH, Kering, Remont, Chanel have suspended operations in Russia. Hermes, which is 3 stores in Moscow, was the first major international luxury group to do so. LVMH has 124 stores in Russia, employs 3,500 people, a group spokesman told Reuters. According to Le Figaro, Chanel has 17 boutiques. Kering Group has 2 stores, 4 shops in shops, and around 180 employees. So yeah, that'll be interesting, I guess. Chanel stores, actually, yesterday when I was at the shopping mall, actually, if you watch the video on Traveling with Russell when it comes out, I walked past the Chanel store, and I actually mentioned LVMH in that. Yeah, that actually, if Zen's still here, so yeah, LinkedIn is banned by the government. Yeah, that's LinkedIn. LinkedIn is mostly business related stuff. Yeah, look at that. Zen there. The LVMH is closing down the stores. So that will be interesting for like GUM department store. There's a major department store, everybody, in the center of Moscow. That's got all luxury brands in it. It's called GUM. It's across the road from Red Square and the Kremlin, and I mean, pretty much I think almost every other store in the GUM is a foreign brand that's in that shopping center. So that'd be interesting if these sort of stores close. Yeah, there's Hermes has 3 stores in Moscow. Yeah, I think they're all in the center of Moscow. Chanel has 17 boutiques, so they're in a couple of different shopping centers. Did they not get Russell's door? Did they not get Russell's door and come and get him? Not yet. I'm not outspoken enough. Again, I don't want to do that. And actually, Zen will attest to this as well. We've talked about it, that we don't really want to make a thing of what's going on. There is YouTubers here in Russia. There is YouTubers in Ukraine as well that are filming things. And I'm going to say in a small way, taking a little bit advantage of that opportunity to make videos. Which is, I guess, good for them, There we go. That's the world's largest cruise ship. This is Coco Cay here, the Royal Caribbean island. Gives you a bit of an idea there of the difference in the size of the world's largest ship next to, I guess not the world's largest ship, but this is the guy that runs Coco Cay. Oh, that's interesting. He's posted a photo there when the ship's leaving the port. Because he's still there and the ship's left, right? So that's kind of interesting. You just watched my YouTube short? Yeah, I've only got a couple. Is on the Traveling with Russell channel. Yeah, on the Traveling with Russell channel, I've got the YouTube shorts. It's called 60 Seconds in Moscow videos. And I really should do more of them. I keep saying I should do more of this, more of that, more of this, and I'm not. That's very bad of me. Yeah, this. What's going on here? Oh my gosh, there's Zelensky there, sitting next to the reporters instead of at the podium. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is why I don't really like some of the social media. That's a very cool photo, though, of Norwegian Encore coming out of Miami. That's a very cool photo. That's the thing there. The devastating war in Ukraine is a human tragedy. We've worked around the clock since day one to provide safety and security for more than 15,000 co-workers across the company groups in the region. There you go. So Ikea Group has taken the decision to pause all exports and imports in and out of Russia and Belarus. They've taken the decision to pause Ikea industry production in Russia. Ikea Group has taken the decision to pause all Ikea retail operations in Russia while the shopping malls Mega will continue to open to ensure that the many people in Russia have access to their daily needs and essentials, such as food, groceries, and pharmacies. Yeah, so that shopping center that I went to, that's the Mega where I was yesterday. And so they're going to keep it open so that people can still go to get essentials. But pretty much every shop was open. Yeah, let's get away from watching this, I guess. Yeah, LinkedIn is really all about business too much. If I go to my normal internet browser, just drag this across. Let's hope it doesn't open, and it's not working. If I click on Facebook, it doesn't sort of come up and connect at all there. So yeah, it's not blocked. It's blocked, but not blocked. Brandon says, I forgot to turn on alerts for traveling with Russell. Fix now. Don't forget to post the link to your Amazon store in the video description. Yeah, I guess I'll do that I think it's in the description for this video, but I don't think it's clickable. I guess I could do it in the comments so that people can go to that. I guess we can pull that up because people have actually bought something since that last video. That's not the one. Is it? Oops. No, I can't open that one either. Yeah, so yeah, some people actually did buy things from Amazon from that previous video. So this thing is kind of waiting to be shipped. Yeah, that's interesting. Now you remind me of that, Brandon. Yeah, this will open over here. Oh no, look, sign me out. What? Oh, this is eBay. Okay. Now I'm stressing myself here too much. I've opened the wrong thing. Amazon. We don't want eBay. Did I get your 17-cent donation? Yeah, it's actually a little bit more than 17 cents now. Well, I guess it's combined. Let's have a look. Yeah, this in full transparency of the channel. So actually, since this is for the month of February, last month. Actually, this is not March. So yeah, 221 clicks, 48 items ordered, 38 delivered. Oh, that's why it's not showing me this. I've looked at this for the last couple of days, and it's stuck on last month. So if we go to earnings, do you remember what you bought, Brandon? Was it the luggage tags? Cruise luggage tags. There's one that was $8. That's 34 cents. So yeah, last month was $15. Amazon ended on. There was some $9.99 ones, which was 40 cents. Maybe it was that one. Is there any luggage tags? Is there any more on the next page? Oh, tumblers. Oh, COVID card protectors. That's right. Now I remember. I think I saw them. There we go. It's $9.96. 2 shipped. It was 40 cents, not 17 cents. Maybe they were yours, vaccine card holders and towel clips. Oh, and luggage tags. Wow, I think you've given me more than 17 cents. So now we'll go to this month because I'm pretty sure there's 10 items that haven't shipped. Last month, this month. So what's going on? Oh, so we're on $5 for the month already because one item was ordered, but 12 shipped, so it's kind of carried over. So there's money each of the 3 days there. So $5.07 for the first 4 days of the month. So that's kind of pretty cool. TV show, Yellowstone TV show stickers. Oh, someone's bought stickers. That's kind of cool. There's the 17 cents, Brandon. Maybe these were yours. Maybe you bought some Yellowstone stickers. Somebody bought stickers from my link. Love like Casey, like John. I don't know who that is. Love like Casey, live like John, fight like Rip, think like Beth. I guess you can customize these, can you? I don't know what these are. Someone bought some more stickers. So, magnetic sheets for adhering backing, wonderful flowers, lanyard wallet. Oh, someone bought it. That's a cool wallet. My lanyard. So it's kind of working. So $5 and $7 for this month and $15 for last month. So we can retire early. Now, if I convert that to rubles, then it's really a lot of money. We can have more than the McDonald's Zen with Daryl's money. So we've got 500 rubles to spend at McDonald's when we go again. So maybe you get a little bit from everything purchased in an order. I didn't see those items in your store. Yeah, so it's a matter of once you click the link over to one of the items, let's say, at some point, and then in your phone or computer, it puts a cookie. So which is basically like a tracking of the website. So if you actually go later back to Amazon, it would link back to that original first click. And then the same where people have maybe found, for instance, they've gone to the website. This won't even open either. So they've gone to the website here. It is open. It goes to cruise tips and goes to newbie cruises. This is the website right here. And then you've gone to weird things you might never think you needed for your cruise. And you've clicked on Ziploc bags. So it goes over to Amazon, like it's doing. There's not available, so that's handy. But maybe you'll end up looking at mosquito repellent. And then from mosquito repellent, you end up going to, what are these? Mosquito patches. Mosquito patches. Who knew you need those? And then it basically traces back to that original click. Does that make sense? I think it does. So, yeah, Ziploc bags, protein snacks, mini stapler. Didn't put a picture there. Towel clips. There they are. Toothbrush holders. These are very cool. The suction toothbrush holders. I need to basically make these a lot nicer. Then they'll be more clickable. That deck of playing cards. That link to somewhere. And then somewhere up here in this website, there is the I Like Cruise Ships tag right there for these playing cards, which are probably not available either. So, why is everything not available? Oh, maybe because it doesn't ship to France because of my VPN. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to maybe call it here because it's getting late for me here in Moscow. It's 1:35 in the morning. I maybe won't even get my empty IKEA shopping video out. I really, really, really hope everybody liked the live stream today. We had a bit of fun. We talked about cruising. I talked a little bit about Mr. P, not a lot. I guess in the coming days and weeks, we're going to kind of probably see more things happen or change or things will go, I don't know, better. I really do hope that they come to some agreements and things work out. These kind of different meetings that they've had on the Belarus border, I really do hope that things come good, really and truly. Yeah, take care, Russell. Good chatting with you. Hope to see you on the horizon end of April. Yes, I hope so too. Yeah, for now, my wife, I guess we're staying here. She thinks that things are going to go crazy here, but I don't think so at all. Everything is normal as day every day of the week. Okay, Russell, thanks again for the live stream. Having a good night, morning, evening. Yes, thank you very much, Bear Bull. Brandon, Zen, if you're still here. Daralia, again, thanks for the $4.99. What did we say? Maybe it's gone up in price already. Let's check. Rubles. I'm laughing about it because it's still the same, I think. 527 in rubles. Actually, it'd be kind of interesting for the next live stream, Daryl, if you're going to be on, of course. I'll keep the receipt, or I'll just sort of see how much we can get for 527 rubles, because it's a lot more than what you think with that exchange rate now. Zen, no worries. You're coming on the next live stream as a guest. I can invite you by clicking this click to copy to clipboard. And then it opens for you a nice link that lets you come into the chat if you wanted to. And then we'd actually be able to screen share like side by side. I can't do it with one person, where we'd be side by side in the chat here, but next time. Okay, everybody, I'm going to click end broadcast right here. Thanks for watching again. Thanks for the thumbs up and the likes and all of the comments. If you want to comment on the video on after the stream, that would be very nice as well. It does help the algorithm of YouTube. Again, thanks for subscribing if you're a subscriber. If you haven't, never too late to subscribe to the channel. We are coming up on 10,000 subscribers very soon. And I think what we might do for that is we might actually do, I think when we get to very close to 10,000, we might call a subathon. Actually, I took this from somebody else. We're on. Let's go quickly. And see what we're on. The internet's struggling. View analytics. Oh, this is the other channel. I guess we didn't get any extra subscribers, but we will do at some point. 9220? Or if we pass that now. 9227 we're on. So that's pretty amazing. So yeah, when we get closer to 10,000, I think we might do a 10,000 subscriber celebration. Okay, Bible, Zen, Brandon, Daralia, thanks for watching. Catch you later, everybody.